Let me start with a thought that might sound simple, but it changes everything once you really sit with it. Most people don't lose money because they make bad moves. They lose money because they leave it in places where it slowly weakens, quietly, over time. No warning, no drama, just erosion. If you're over 40, you've already lived through enough market cycles to know this feeling. You remember when gas was cheap, when groceries felt lighter on the wallet, when a dollar stretched further without you thinking about it. Nothing sudden happened. Life just got more expensive. That's where this conversation begins. Because today, I want to talk calmly and clearly about cash, gold, and silver. Not as hype, not as predictions. Just what they are, how they behave, and why people with experience think about them differently as time goes on. Imagine for a moment you're sitting at your kitchen table late at night. The house is quiet. You open your bank app. The number is there. It looks solid, familiar, reassuring. That's cash. It gives you comfort. It gives you control. It lets you sleep. Cash is certainty. You know exactly what it is today. But here's the part most people don't think about. Cash is the only asset guaranteed to slowly lose buying power over time. Not because it's bad, but because that's how the system works. Cash is designed to move. When it stops moving, it starts shrinking in real terms. Now compare that feeling to holding something physical, something heavy, something that doesn't change because someone decided to print more of it. That's where gold and silver enter the picture. Gold has been around longer than any currency you or I have ever used. Empires rose and fell. Currencies changed names. Borders moved. Gold stayed gold. Not exciting, not fast, just steady. Silver is similar, but with a different personality. It's more emotional, more reactive. It moves faster, both up and down. It's used in industry, technology, medicine. It's part money, part utility. Cash, gold, and silver all play very different roles. And the mistake people make is treating them like they should all do the same job. Think of cash like oxygen. You don't notice it until it's missing. You need it for bills, emergencies, freedom of movement. Cash gives flexibility, it gives speed, it gives peace of mind. But oxygen alone doesn't build strength. It just keeps you alive. Gold is more like bone. It doesn't rush. It doesn't chase. It holds structure when pressure builds. When confidence in systems fades, gold doesn't argue. It just exists. Silver is more like muscle. It reacts, it contracts, it expands. It can perform well in growth periods and surprise people during transitions. Now here's where age and experience start to matter. When you're younger, volatility feels exciting. You have time, you can recover, you can wait out mistakes. Speed feels like progress. As you get older, stability starts to matter more than excitement. Not because you're afraid, but because you understand what it took to get here. You start asking different questions. Not how fast can this grow, but how well does this hold up? That's why many people over 40 begin to rebalance how they think about money. Cash is still important, but it's no longer the hero. It's the support system. Gold becomes insurance, not an investment, lottery ticket. Silver becomes a calculated addition, not a gamble. Here's something important to understand. Gold and silver don't make you rich overnight, and that's exactly why they work. They don't depend on perfect timing. They don't care about quarterly earnings calls. They don't disappear because of a bad headline. They sit quietly and wait. Cash, on the other hand, is constantly exposed to decisions you don't control. Interest rates, policy changes, inflation, spending habits across the economy. That doesn't make cash bad. It just makes it vulnerable if it's your only line of defense. The people who sleep well during economic uncertainty usually aren't all in on one thing. They're balanced. They know cash handles today. Gold protects purchasing power over time. Silver adds optional upside with real-world demand. Another thing worth mentioning is emotion. Cash feels personal. You earned it. You worked for it. You remember the effort behind every dollar. That's why people cling to it. Gold and silver feel distant at first, old-fashioned, slow, but that distance is their strength. They don't trigger daily emotion. They don't tempt constant action. And fewer emotional decisions usually mean better long-term outcomes. Now, let's talk about today's environment without getting technical. We're in a period where confidence shifts quickly. Markets move fast. News cycles never stop. Prices don't settle the way they used to. In times like this, cash feels safe until you realize how fast costs adjust around you. Gold tends to respond when confidence wobbles. Not immediately, not dramatically, but consistently. Silver reacts more sharply. It reflects both fear and growth. That's why it swings more. People who understand this don't argue about which one is better. They ask how each one fits. They don't replace cash with metals. They complement it. They keep enough cash to stay flexible, enough gold to stay protected, enough silver to stay responsive, and they adjust slowly, not emotionally. If you've ever felt that quiet worry of doing everything right but still falling behind, this is usually the missing piece. Not effort, not discipline. Positioning is boring, and boring is powerful. Let me say something clearly. This isn't about fear. This is about alignment. Cash aligns you with the present. Gold aligns you with history. Silver aligns you with transition. When those three are in balance, stress drops. You stop reacting to every headline. You stop checking numbers every hour. You stop feeling like you're one bad month away from panic. That calm is valuable. As you listen to this, you might already be thinking about how your own money is spread, not judging it, just noticing. That awareness alone is progress. I'm curious how you personally think about this balance. Do you lean toward cash for comfort, metals for protection, or a mix that helps you sleep at night? Share what's on your mind in the comments. Conversations like this help others see options they didn't consider. If this perspective feels refreshing compared to the usual noise, tapping the like button tells the platform this kind of calm, real-world discussion matters. And if you want more grounded conversations about money, markets, and long-term thinking, subscribing keeps you connected without pressure. Thanks for spending this time with me. Stay steady, stay informed, and I'll talk to you again soon.